Hello, Silver Squad, and welcome back to the truck. Y'all, we are back in the truck for a quick truck update, and we are at Lowe's. This is brought to you by Lowe's Foods today, and Planet Fitness behind that. So, y'all, if you're new to the channel, my name is Paul. Yes, I usually do have a sofa, but I do these quick truck updates to just kind of address very quick, fast things. Today, being you saw the thumbnail, going to be Lori being ordered into court. We're having opening statements later today. But I do these typically when a trial is going on, just to kind of address some quick things. And I usually do it based on what I hear from people the most, like sending me video clips or like, hey, Paul, what'd you think of this? Whatever. So for this, I made a list. Okay. Now what I've done is I made a list of the most like things that I got in DMs and email. And then also I went to Nate Eaton's like live blog update or whatever and jotted a quick few notes down and whatnot. So there's that. So very quickly, this is Lori Daybell. Arizona versus Lori Daybell. This is in relation to Brandon Boudreaux, her former nephew-in-law, the attempted murder of him. Yes, he did survive. Yes, he's been in court. So this will be interesting to see how that plays out with, her representing herself, the whole 9 yards. So she has been pulling some medical drama the last few days. Friday, she was basically like, I can't, or wait, was it Friday? What day is it today? It's Thursday. So whatever day, a couple of days ago, whatever it was, Monday, I believe it was maybe. She basically, according to her, was dragged into court in a wheelchair. She was sitting there, head down, I can't do this, blah, 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 blah. And the judge is like, honey, that's not going to work. You will be going to trial. It doesn't matter if you do this, that, the other. I will be your judge. Because remember, she just wanted to get rid of him as a judge. So that being said, she goes off. He's like, hey, look, we'll get back together on Wednesday, but you're going to be here and this is what's going to happen. So he had ordered and we'll talk about this, but he had ordered them to do tests and whatnot. We'll get to that. So, I was putting out, is she going to show up? Is she going to do this? What's going to be the drama? This, that, and the other. Okay, so then let's start off with my notes here. Okay, that's where we're at. That's where we arrived. So yesterday, we're all waiting, like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Is she going to wheel in? This, that, and the other. So day starts off hot, right? There's a message put out that's like, not Jody, right? Might as well be. Lori isn't going to show up unless she's ordered. Okay, so it's like, now my thought process was this. I was like, I thought that was just a given, right? How are we still here? Interesting how the inmates in this situation can call these shots, right? So the judge issues an order. And then shockingly, Lori shows up. So I think that was all theatrics. I think that's what it was, right? Now, Brandon Boudreaux's there with his wife. Kay Woodcock's there. I mean, all the, people are there waiting, right? So there's that. Now, the Judge Boreski says that he ordered, and I'm going to be referring to my notes on my laptop right here. He says that he ordered MCSO to perform a health evaluation on Lori. She was treated for one condition. The MCSO did not find any medical condition for Lori to miss court. So there you go. I would love to know what that one little condition is, but it is what it is. And again, these notes are from Nate Eaton of East Idaho News. Now there's back and forth with the judge and some sidebars and all this kind of stuff, whatever. So she's in normal clothes. So she, and Nate said he didn't see, the wheelchair or anything like that, whatever. She's in her normal clothes. She's sitting in a normal chair. Now, jurors come in. She doesn't rise for the jurors. Does this surprise me? No. Court and jail say Lori's fine. She still says she's not. Okay, so she's still trying to play that off. One thing I thought was interesting is when they were talking about the jurors and stuff like that, they get $40 a day if picked, okay? So I was like, interesting. Now, Trina, on the state side, she's questioned the jurors about opinions on like conspiracy and this and that, like a conspiracy for murder and whatnot. Because, hold on, the little thing's doing a little announcement here. The parking lot has those police things that are like, for your safety, this parking lot is being videotaped. So this is one of those cases where, yes, some people are going to have strong opinions on being like, okay, conspiracy, this, that, the other, whatever. She didn't do it. Her hands weren't on the gun. He's still here. So, I get this. Now, also, I thought it was interesting that she questions them on, essentially, are they going to have negative opinions on Tesla? Because, remember, Brandon was driving one at the time. And I thought it's like, interesting that she needs to ask that question at this point in time, right? So then Lori asked if anyone in the room has ever wanted to be on a jury like a bucket list thing. Okay. And I'm just like, I could hear Lori at dinner before any of this happened being like, I'd love to be in a jury one day, just like as a bucket list thing. It's almost like she's just tells on herself, right? Again, I don't know her, so, but it's just my opinion, okay? So the judge says the jury will be picked today and they will be given their instructions. We're going to have opening statements tomorrow, which is today, 10 a.m. their time, 1 p.m. my time. Witnesses will begin taking the stand. Nate said at one point, he said, by my count, there's 8 men, 8 women on this jury. And those are the main notes that I put and addressed for here. So let me offer my opinion on things here, whatever. The two main things that people were talking about. Number one, obviously, the medical thing, right? I was very braced for her to get her way somehow. So I am very happy to see that she didn't. That the judge, which the judge is very nice and very fair, but we see this go on and on where these defendants figure out how to manipulate the system and they get their way over and over and over and over. And Lori's been able to do this and Sarah Boone's been able to do this and so on and so forth, right? So the fact that she had to show up and do all this. Now, her not being in a wheelchair, her being in street clothes, to me, that is just how it should be, right? She doesn't need to be in prison clothes. Yes, I have a bias and whatnot, but no one in trial needs to already be in some kind of prison or jail garb, right? It's completely biased. I also think if you don't need to be in the wheelchair, then that's also a bias for her favor. So I don't think that she needs one. I think I saw Lauren from Hidden True Crime talking about Lori saying something about she couldn't stand or something of this nature or whatever. So there's that. Those are my opinions on that. And again, I'm just going back to the main things I saw people emailing me or DMing me about. The second thing is, do I think that people are asking me about, do I think that there's going to be just this, next level drama? This is what I think is going to take place. I think we are at the end of the rope with Lori. Almost like this. Okay, so, and I think this is where, like, how when like a politician is like in their final thing, they call them, I think it's lame duck or something. We're in lame duck Lori. In fact, that's going to be the nickname. Lame duck Lori stage. The lame duck Lori era. Okay. So this is the end of the road. And now granted, there's going to be appeals forever. Okay. We get this. However, this is the curtains getting ready to drop, right? This is her final show. So she knows this. These appeals don't get the same kind of public attention. Now, yes, maybe Lori always will, but they kind of fall off. Remember Sarah Boone? That case was all over the place. We covered this, we did this. Now, mind you, there's still drama going on, but this extreme public interest almost immediately falls off once they're sentenced. And then it's still there, but not in the same way. Now, unfortunately, for the families who have survived these monsters, again, all the people I've named off, Kate, Larry, Brandon, you can go on and on, right? They're going to deal with this for the rest of their life. They're going to be going to court for the rest of their life. They're going to be dealing with the loss for the rest of their life, right? This has directly affected them. But like, as far as the public consumption of trials, et cetera, Lori knows that her 5 minutes are about up. So when people are asking me in DMs and emails, stuff like that, like, do I think she's going to be whatever? Yeah, I think she's going to be next level. But I also thought she was going to be able to pull off some kind of drama and get her way. And I was wrong about that, right? I mean, I'm not psychic. She's kind of like my opinions. But I think that she's already being that way. I think we're seeing more of the real Lori, just this, impatient, better than, entitled, barely showing up. Oh, I have to do this. I have to do that. That type thing. And I think we're going to continue to see that from her in this. And I think she'll get more unhinged. I personally think without her stalling things, this trial will go very quickly. Okay. I mean, even the judge was like this week. And then I think he said next week. And then if we have to go past that, but you know how a lot of times judges, lawyers, they'll overextend, like, this is going to be an 8-week trial. And like most of the time it isn't. I think that will be the case with this. I think it's going to be very clean cut. Another question that people are asking me, and I'll wrap it up. What do I think is going to happen? Like if Brandon takes a stand or this kind of stuff, whatever. I think Lori is going to be afraid of him in a way that she was afraid of Kay for multiple reasons, because I think Lori is a bully. And I think that she bullies including Lori, know who they can bully. It's how they get away with being that, right? She knows who she can do that with. Kay wasn't the one. Kay was not the one. And Lori quickly realized that. I don't know Brandon personally, don't know any of them personally. Brandon is the survivor from a legal standpoint and from my standpoint of the sofa, and also just being like, you know, okay, this is, you know, my sofa speculation kind of vantage viewpoint if I was a juror. It would not behoove Lori to keep him on the stand for any amount of time because of the things that could potentially come out of his mouth. And I'm not saying things that it's like, oh, you're not supposed to talk about this case. He is the victim who survived the thing. She is the alleged co-conspirator and all this type stuff. So the way that Lori goes and tries to like belittle or talk down to her, any of that, I don't think she'll do that to Brandon because she seems to have a target. She seems to oftentimes do it with women, and not every woman either. But she seems to do that. And if you notice the times in the last trial that we were in, when somebody would like step to the plate to her, she backed down. Even when the judge does it, she's like, oh, well, okay. She can dish it, but she can't take it, right? And so to keep Brandon on this, I keep wanting to say stage, but on the stand would be idiotic, in my opinion. The same way that it was the best strategy for her to get Kay Woodcock off that stand immediately. Even if Lori wasn't, you know, intimidated by her, which I do think she was, from a strategy point of view, no, you don't need Kay on that stand, right? Because number one, Kay's going to tell, I mean, she did, right? Kay very quickly, in a very professional way, put Lori in her place. Kay's going to tell you like it is. Brandon probably will be the same way, you know, different circumstances. Remember, he probably looks at Lori as being the perpetrator and making his wife go, blah, right? And going down this crazy rabbit hole that they all went down. So, and obviously she was, you know, taking out people trying to kill him. So that's what I think will happen. I don't think that she'll keep him on the stand that long, you know, but we'll see, you know, I mean, who knows? And other than that, I just think that Lori's going to be a little prima donna. I think she's going to talk down to who she thinks she can talk down to. I think she's going to show out for the jury. Lori doesn't know how she comes off to the jurors, right? Most of the time, these personality types don't. The Sarah, the Boones, the Nancy Brophies, the Loris, the Anthony Tots, they live in a different world that they think everyone sees them in the way that they live. And then when they present their case or their personality, or they let themselves kind of just be themselves, it doesn't go well just in the way of likability factor, right? Because think of people, Ted Bundy, for example, horrifying monster who has fans showing up in the courtroom. He knew how to work a room over so he could get away with that. And mind you, the man's absolutely psychopath, right? However, people like Lori or Sarah, they're not able to do it, right? It's very rare that you can be this crazy and also work over a whole room. You know what I'm saying? Thank God, right? We don't need this. We don't need Ted Bundys out there who are very good at hiding the monster within. And yeah, so that's it. So those are my main thoughts. We will be streaming the trial on the podcast channel. Remember today, and I'm talking Eastern time here, it starts 10 o'clock their time. This is Arizona time. So we'll be streaming 1 o'clock today. And then tomorrow, Friday, they're going to go from like 9 to 4, 9 to 4:30, something like that. So we'll be doing noon to whenever. And then we'll see what happens. So I think she's going to show out. I think she's going to be awesome. When I say show out, I think she's going to continue with the medical thing. I think she's painted the picture for that to kind of keep throwing that up or whatever. No pun intended. So anyways, what do you think? Let me know in the comment section. While you're down there, drop some sofas off. Heck, drop some trucks off too. Good Lord, where are you parked? If we got to come up with what is the question that we're going to get. Last trial it was, where are you parked? Do you like green enchiladas? I mean, come on. What is lame duck Lori going to do? Okay. So anyways, that's it. I love you, Sofa Squad. I will see you this afternoon.